r/AskReddit. Girls with an awkward introverted boyfriend husband, how did he approach you? He didn't. I approached him. But I asked him out twice and he didn't get the hint. It took a year later and us hanging out extensively for 8 months for him to ask me out. Except he asked me out by texting me, wait, are we dating or something? SMH. Intro husband here. Went to a party that I didn't want to go to be a wingman for my friend. This girl he was trying to get with had a best friend who was the life of the party and center of attention, and I wanted nothing to do with her. I was chilling in the kitchen with the other introverts and this girl kept asking me to hold her drink while she did something. Literally no other conversation than hold my drink. I kept putting it on the counter trying to ignore her till she finally grabbed my hand and asked me to come outside with her. I did, and as soon as we went out we saw her roommate passed out in the snow. I carried her roommate back to her apartment across the way and tucked them both in for the night and left. She got my number from her friend and texted me the next morning. Now we're 5 years and 2 kids later. Shy guy here. I accidentally told someone at the summer camp where we worked that I had a crush on her. Of course the person I told was a loudmouth. So I figured I would get to her and tell her first. It was amazing the level to which my anxiousness subsided for fear of her finding out from someone else. After my words were all twisted up and misconstrued. To my surprise, she was obviously immediately interested, even though we had never even spoken before that. She thought it was cute that I needed to tell her myself and make sure that I told her the right way, with an explanation of what happened. She interrupted me while I was explaining and said, "Yes, I get it. We're going out now." Wow. She did happen to hear from 2 people later that day that I was telling everyone how much I liked her, which wasn't the case at all. She just told them, "Yep, I know. We're going on a date tonight." Still gives me butterflies. Been together 10 years. Married for 5. Moral of the story. Put aside shyness. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Be honest. Be true to yourself. I'm gonna speak for my girl here. I just messaged her on that dating app after we both liked each other. She was warned though. My profile said you want a bad boy. I'm bad at everything. And after 2 months, I've rejected one offer to meet up. We did actually meet. Never been happier before. Hi. It's me. Awkward introverted boyfriend fiancé. Basically. First day of college. Small college. 100-150 students. I was in the lunch line with her. Listened to her bubble on about things she was passionate about. Got in my 2 cents here and there. Turns out her mom worked in the kitchen. And so when she got to the serving window she introduced me as her friend. That was huge for me. Turns out she had a long distance boyfriend. Which took some pressure off and I was content just to have a friend who was a girl, cause I've had none. So talking to her was more natural than it was for any other girl in the past. Eventually she broke up with him. We started going for walks because I was just comfortable already. And eventually she talked about how she was sorry she was being distant because she didn't know how to have a short distance relationship. And she apologized to me for that. To which I accepted the apology and we went for a walk and I asked if she would like to date. She said yes. I would have never had the confidence if I hadn't heard that she liked me from my friend. And if she wouldn't have been so forward. We are now engaged. To be married later this summer. I asked him out. On the first date, I walked into his room naked after going to the restroom. He took the hint and we're currently engaged. He stood by my desk every morning looking sad and desperately trying to come up with small talk that wasn't about bagels. Then he checked what I was doing every day as he headed out to lunch. It was obvious he was trying to do the impossible. Talk to the human female. I eventually put him out of his misery and gave him my number and told him to take me to lunch when I got back from a trip. I'm the guy. But my best friend invited me to a concert and told me last minute he's bringing this chick he's into and not to blow it for him. So I go into wingman mode and just am acting like myself because I don't have to impress her. And made some small talk here and there. Apparently she didn't know he was into her and asked him for my number since she thought I was cute. She was supposed to move across the country in a week, so it was supposed to be a fun fling. But she came back 2 weeks later because she hated it, and we've been together 8 years. Best friend was cool about it and we all hang out together when we can. We met at an engineering summer camp. They jammed us all into a dorm lobby for orientation. I was one of the last to enter the room and sat down on the only available couch space, which was next to him. He was struck with love at first sight. We exchanged a few brief sentences and then they turned on a movie and I fell asleep on his shoulder. I've fallen asleep on other random people's shoulders at other times in my life. I just fall asleep easy. I woke up deeply embarrassed and scurried off to my room. The next day, we naturally gravitated toward each other because we didn't know anybody else. And we hit it off from there. Being at camp made us both available for dating in a way that we wouldn't have been otherwise. The camp structure encouraged forced socialization and he was separated from his computer. And I was separated from most of my pastimes as well. If we'd gone to high school together, I don't think we would have started dating. Anyway. Now we're coming up on our 11th wedding anniversary. We've worked out a pretty good system for mostly letting him be his deeply introverted self without making me feel too isolated. We met on Tinder and he asked me about breakfast food. I was suspicious because I thought it was going to be some gross pickup line, but no, he's just really into breakfast food. 3 years together this summer. Living together for 2. OP taking notes furiously. Edit. Go give gold to a comment that deserves it. We were already friends. Another friend lied to me and said he had a crush on me. So I asked him out. While we were leaving a class, I complimented her on a dress she had worn the previous day. I still cringe. Edit. Hey. It worked. She approached me. Which I think is pretty standard for shy people. Even still, it took a lot of hints for me to get it. Hey. We should study sometime. Okay, cool. Hey. Here's my phone number with hearts used to dot the I's in my name, Yano. For studying. Okay. Thanks. What do you think of my new outfit? I kind of want to go out in it. Looks great. Have fun. You. I want to go out with you. I made the first move. Always had a huge crush on him. 7 years of friendship and dating. I kinda placed myself beside him and loudly talked about loving video games because he was playing on a console set up in our college game room. He asked if I wanted to play video games together and so I swapped numbers with him. I spanked his ass in Halo, then I'll let him spank mine. He-yo-o-o. It happened really organically. We had some friends in common and started talking because of them. I could tell he was into me because he wanted to be around me all the time and I would always catch him staring. I had to stay in school until later some days and he would always stay with me even though he could have just gone home. We started talking more and more during that time we had alone. And found out we had so many things in common. He got a lot more comfortable around me so he would make jokes. Put his arm around me etc. A couple months later. We were at a party and he said he wanted to talk, so we went to a more private place surrounded by these gorgeous roses. He was shaking and his heart was beating so fast before he told me he liked me and wanted to be with me. Then we kissed for the first time and have been together for 4 years now. He slipped me a note and ran for it. I'm the guy, not the girl. But she in fact approached me. I was sitting on the train at the back of the carriage when I saw her come in. She looked as if she was going to sit at the front. Almost all the seats were empty, but I saw her look up the back and she appeared to change her mind. She walked all the way down the carriage, then sat in the seat in front of mine. At this point I was wondering what I should do. I normally don't talk to anyone, but there were only about 5 people in the carriage and she walked past 10 empty seats to sit in the one in front of me. While I was still wondering whether I should talk to her or not, she turned around and started talking to me. We've been married about 12 years now. I met him through my sister and she told me he lives nearby. So I randomly texted him, it was close to midnight, once and asked him if he would want to watch a movie with me. And surprisingly, he was in front of my door like 5 minutes later. We watched Totoro and he stayed until 4 AM. That's how we became friends. In school we often spend our time together and he kinda started to make his first moves. He wasn't flirting though. He just randomly grabbed my hand and sat very close to me often. This doesn't sound too nerdy, but just let me tell you. The first time I was at his place he showed me his pocket watch collection and his huge Minecraft world in which he rebuilt several Thai and German buildings. Many of them having to do with World War II, GDR and his homeland. I don't think that's how you usually flirt with girls. Especially at 17. But I guess it worked and I love him very dearly. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that subscribe button for more high quality content.